Your life is a mirror. It reflects back the thoughts that you practice the most. Tune in for a powerful demonstration that will change the way you think. Welcome to Talking with Teri TV. I am your host, Teri Cardula, and thank you for joining us on the Entrepreneur Girlfriend Hour, along with our live studio co-creator. We are Colorado's first transformational talk show where we activate, elevate, and transform. Those that are new to me, I've taken my 28 years of counseling experience, combined it with energy psychology, and applied the principles of quantum physics to help transform the way we show up by clearing the blocks that no longer serve us and activating the energy within so that we can tap in, tune in, and turn on our infinite knowing, our infinite wisdom. And so with that, let's dive in. All right, my friends, I got a little funny story to tell today and I was going to keep it secret, to be fair, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why am I going to share this in the public here? But this is the world of entrepreneurship, right? So I have this routine that I do. I come in here, and actually Kim showed up like an hour, like 4 hours early. Just kidding. An hour early. And I'm like, I haven't gone and grounded. So I'm like, just give me a moment. I need to go out and do my routine, right? So I go out and do my routine. And I'm sitting out there on my rock, and my feet are in the freezing cold water, grounding. And I look down and I look at my zipper, and my zipper doesn't look like it's all the way up. So I went to go finagle it all the way up, and I broke my zipper, okay? So I am al naturel here, okay? So if there's anything showing, I need some eyes, okay? And just be like, Teri, okay? Because this is real life. And I did not bring an extra pair of pants, okay? No more extra pants, okay?
Get your back, Teri.
Thank you, because I'm like, this is what happens. This is what happens, okay? So I feel like I'm just going to be a little more conscious of my situation here, okay? Anywho, so that's just, again, so just if I have some like pooch showing, or just, you got me, right? You got me? Okay. Oh my heavens, okay. All right, when people ask, what's the show about? The quick little backstory is that I don't even know, right? I got it actually a hit earlier this week, and I was like, oh, thank you for sharing a little bit earlier than usual, because usually I don't get it until the day of. So the conversation is all about the mirroring that we do. And so I was actually talking to Lavondelin yesterday, and this concept around the mirrors and how we're showing up as a mirror to everything else in our lives. And so I'm going to do a little demonstration to show this. So if you will, this is just a string with a washer on the end of it. So I'm going to pass this around. Just take one and pass it. Those that are joining us online, you can either do the same. If you have an earring, you can use it. Just something that's weighted on the bottom of a string so that you can join us. Pause it, come back and join us. I'm going to pass those around. And I have one up here. And so what we're going to do, you guys are all so quiet. Everyone got one?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so I'm just going to be flat-footed for this. And I just want you to go ahead and hold it in whichever hand you want to, okay? And then I'm going to have it, so let it just stop moving, okay? And what we're going to do is I'm going to have you just let go of it and just make sure that it's stopped. And now I want you to look at it, and I want you to have it go forward and backwards. And it might just take a couple seconds for this to happen. Mine is going. How about everyone else's?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
This is really swinging.
Yeah. We got some swingers back there.
Yeah.
I asked you to go faster. No judgment, okay? All right, so now I want everyone to just imagine in your mind telling it to go clockwise in a circle.
Mine's going backwards.
All right, so go ahead and just, again, make Gina just saying, go left, go to clockwise. And then I want you to do it the opposite. So now just say, go the other direction. So now go counterclockwise. We'll just take a moment. All right.
How does it do that?
All right. So
Energy.
I know, right? Okay. So the power of our thoughts, the power of our intentions, but it really is, like, when I think about this, the mirror of how we are putting things out there. What are we receiving back? We put out there the intentions, and then our environment also shows up differently to us. Does that make sense? And so let me open this up real quick. Comments or thoughts about this?
So freaky.
Yeah.
It's
very Yeah, very interesting. And so when we think about our lives and our business, and this came up when I was talking to Levon Dillon yesterday, and how this came up was, if we're putting things out there based on our current reality, we've talked about this before, where our brains are trained and ingrained to live in a certain reality. And what will happen, and a lot of this is like what is it called? Oh my gosh, what is it called? Confirmation bias. Is everyone familiar with confirmation bias? Confirmation bias basically says that our brains will, whatever belief we believe in, our brains will actually not take in information for anything else besides that, because that is our belief system. And so we will look out for information that supports it. We will find evidence to support it. We will interpret the information in a way that will support that information, and everything else goes away. And I'll give you a quick example of this. My daughter, she has this love-hate relationship with our dog. I have this absolutely unconditional love for our dog, even when he chews things up. And I'm like, but I have this unconditional love for our dog. So my daughter has this conditional and unconditional. Okay, so you're a whack job, right? But what will happen by her confirmation bias is she'll say, Mom, he doesn't love me. He doesn't love me. He loves you more. And so I'm like, yes, because I'm his favorite. So my reality is that I'm his favorite because I find the evidence that shows he snuggles with me, he comes to me, and when all three of us are out, he comes to me first because I'm like, he loves me more, right? Because that's the story that I've created, right? And so every time the dog doesn't come to her, she see, he doesn't love me, he loves you more. And then now she's building that reality, but she's so hot and cold with him that he's hot and cold with her, right? And so that's how that confirmation bias can actually play a part of our life. So if you think about it, let me just take a moment right here, real quick. How does that show up in your life or in your business when we have confirmation bias? Real quick, we'll pass the mic around. How does that show up in your life or your business?
Yes. So you either attract a business or you deflect business.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh my gosh, these sales are hard. I can't close this client. No one wants to come to my event, or
This is never gonna work.
This is never gonna work. This is never gonna work. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you a funny story, okay? So we were like hitting certain numbers, and then we were having several cancellations. And I was like, I gotta recalibrate this, because it kept happening. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have cancellations, right? So I had to tweak this, because that mirror was being shown back to my face of this was happening. So you guys are gonna laugh at this, because this is what happens when Teri's in Teri's land, okay? So I came in here, and it was like a random day, and I set up all the chairs. We have 20 chairs. And I said, okay, we are gonna recalibrate this room so that we are selling out every time at 20 spots. And so this happened 2 months ago. So I set it up, and then I worked around the room for like 2 weeks. Because I'm like, we need to recalibrate this room to attract and say, okay, no more of that. We got to sell out. And so since I did that confirmation and that activation, we've been selling out every time. And so I'm like, okay, but I had to recalibrate it for me, right? Of, okay, what was my mirror showing me, and what did I need to like do for me, and reset it, recalibrate it for a different reality. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else want to share like how it's showing up in your life? Yes, go ahead.
Well, I decided a little while ago I'm an expert at what I do. And since that's happened, I've had so many folks come to me and ask me to be interviewed. I'm on podcasts, I'm on the media. I've had articles written about the charity as well as myself. So I put it out there finally. Oh, I know what the hell I'm doing. Excuse my language. I know what the heck I'm doing. And I've become an expert in this field. And lo and behold, the universe has said, yeah, you are.
Yeah, and now, yay. And now what's happening is the evidence now is showing you, and now pretty much every show we say this to is if you do not have an evidence journal, make sure that you have an evidence journal. We have some for purchase out there if you'd like, but make sure that you have an evidence journal because we're starting to document this evidence. And I think that is the biggest leeway that we can start to adapt and play with when we start to look at this new reality. What's the new evidence that's coming up, and how do I start speaking more life into that? But it takes a little bit of a leap of faith to be like, okay, I'm going to step into this new reality of who I am and how I'm showing up, because I have to show up differently to get different results and different evidence to support that. Anyone else want to share how that confirmation bias shows up for you?
I have a story about somebody else so I was doing a presentation for the South Denver Chamber, and this gal stood up and was asking everybody, what is your superpower? It was kind of the same question, but not. And she said, I can finally say what people have been saying to me my whole life. I'm charismatic. And I said, why was that so hard for you to do? And she goes, because I didn't want to sound like I was bragging or that I thought I was better than other people. Yeah, you got to own it. And I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. When you own it, again, universe, God, spirit, angels, whatever you believe in, will also reflect that back to you, right? And whatever the message is. So if, again, when we're using this as an example of that mirror, right? What are my intentions? What am I creating? And guess what? We can always change this. We can always recalibrate our thoughts. We can always recalibrate what we're putting out there. And I'm a big believer in like seeing the contrast. I was talking to someone when we were signing. Who was it?
About contrast.
Oh yeah, I was talking about that real quick. I was like, because like oftentimes we'll see as contrast as a bad thing, and I was like, you know what? We can see as a really great thing. And I was at an event just recently, and I was having this visceral reaction to this event, and I was like, what is this about? I got a yes when I signed up, but I needed to see that contrast because that was my mirror, and the reality reflecting back was like, oh. I had this awareness is I needed to see the contrast because it needed to show me where I have come from. Does that make sense? And it wasn't a bad thing. It was just like, oh, I had to see that in a different reality of, oh, yeah, okay, cool. All right, yay. I'm not there anymore. I've moved past that. I've moved beyond that as far as that piece goes. So anything else that's coming up with people about the reflecting back in our business. So if we know this now, how can we apply this now into our business? And it's silent. Go ahead.
I was thinking, like we said earlier, when you talk about how it could be greater, talk about how things can be greater for you. Like, not I'm going to fail or it's going to be worse or I'm going to choose to think the worst. I'm going to choose to think the best. I'm going to choose to think this is going to be bigger than I ever could have imagined. I think changing that mindset is really where it starts.
Cool. I love it.
I'm an expert on limiting beliefs. I just see so many people struggling because they operate way back here. They whisper. They hardly speak out loud. And yet, if you could just hear what they're saying, then you can identify and change the limiting beliefs.
Anything else that's coming up?
I'll say something.
Yeah.
My mantra that's really helped me get out of the victim mentality, because I was in that for very many years, is everything everywhere is always working out for me. Because even when a challenge comes up, I used to see it as hard, but now I'm like, okay, yes, it could be. I took away, life isn't hard anymore. There still will be challenges, but they won't be hard. Like, they're exciting to me now. So when anything in business, you fix one fire and then you have 8 more fires you have to put out. So I'm like, okay, let's just take it step by step. We got this one figured out. Now we go on to the next one. And what did I learn from that challenge? And then I always see how the past challenges have helped me come to a conclusion for my new challenges. Oh, if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't have known to do this. So I like now love challenges because it's okay. this is going to prepare me for something. I'm going to get knowledge from here, and somewhere, somehow, it's going to prepare me for an opportunity.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and be mindful of that we're not, okay, we need more fires. I was joking earlier. I had, it was either last year or the year before, I can't remember, but I had my word of the year was unstoppable. And I was just sharing earlier that like, I had to have all these experiences where I had to be unstoppable. And I was like, record scratch, done. I'm done with unstoppable. Like I'm picking a new word, and so I ended up picking 3 because it was so traumatic. I was like, we gotta have 3: peace, love, and joy. And I was like, oh my gosh. And my girlfriend was like, Teri, you wanted to be unstoppable, so then you had opportunities to be unstoppable. And I'm like, so be mindful.
Yeah.
Be mindful of what you wish for.
Patience. You're not given patience.
Oh my
You're given challenges to test your patience.
I know. I'm supposed to learn patience in this lifetime, and I am like, I'm pretty certain all my other lifetimes, all my like past, they were like eating bonbons on the beach, because I learned like 792 life lessons in like 2023. And I'm like, I think I'm done. Like, patience, next lifetime. Anyways, any other comments? Yes, go ahead.
I would say it's how you view yourself in the mirror. Because I feel like if we have the mindset of being able to tune into a different frequency and see something different, and oftentimes we're a concept of someone else's mirror. And it could be and it could be very beneficial for us to realize that when we look at ourselves, instead of challenges, opportunities, again, you don't want fires, but opportunities. But I feel like when we have the conscious mindset of we have challenges, opportunities in front of us, but how are we going to face it? And facing ourselves, but also gaining strength from what we do see and what we can improve upon seeing. So.
I think that's a really great point, in the sense that also we're a mirror for other people, and I always just trust that we're always in the right place at the right time with the right information, with the life lessons, the information that we have. And so sometimes when we're showing up to places, and I'm like, I don't know about you guys, but like in 2023, 2024, did you have these, in 2025 too? Let's not let that year go, because that was a doozy too. I'm just kidding. But did you have this experience, or was it just me, that like you would have these interactions with people and then you'd be like, what just happened? What just happened? Because you're like trying to like cognitively understand the dynamics, and you're like, ruh-roh, like I don't know. It was just like, I had so many of those experiences where I'm like, okay, hello, I know I'm having this reality that just happened, but I'm trying to understand it, and it did not make any sense. Like this human behavior, I was just like questioning sometimes.
Did it make sense after?
No,
Oh,
no,
not yet.
no. Like there were some doozies, and I'm like, most of it came with staff, I'm just gonna say. Like it came with like W-2 staff. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like this is my reality. At one point, it was funny because I was like, I knew for certain or what was it called? Oh, what do you call it when the people jump out and they prank you? Like, the punk you. I thought someone was going to jump out and be like, you've been punked. And I was like, that would make sense. That would make sense. So that was the only explanation that I could have to. They were punking me without being punked.
Yeah, I get that sometimes.
Oh, go ahead.
So I get that sometimes where I look around and be like, okay, where are the hidden cameras?
I know, right? Like you're like,
thing, yeah.
where's the candid camera? Because I was like, this has to be this experience. Because I was like, there's no other explanation of this reality that I was having. It was pretty wild. I was just like, this is human. And I was like, I used to be a therapist, and I'm like, I get the human psychology, okay? There's no like, I get it. And then I'm like, I'm still baffled. I'm like, if Sigmund Freud was here right now, what would he say? He'd be like, 7 years later, we're on the couch for 4 years and three intense sessions, and maybe they would have figured it out. I don't know. Go ahead.
I just want to say this also works in relationships, because when you said this or something better, that was my mantra when I met my husband, before I knew what was going to be happening. And he said, well, I want to get out there. I want to meet people. I want to have kids, that type of thing. And I said, okay, it's you or somebody better. You set the bar, and we'll go forward with that. And when he came back into the reality, he said, I am somebody better.
Wow.
And it just hit me
But
so
he
hard. I was
owned
like,
it.
wow.
Yeah.
And you guys are so cute.
You
But
guys
it
are.
did
Yeah.
make a difference.
Yeah.
It did. This or something better. Set your bar and then move forward.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm just wondering if your experience was a result of COVID, because I think the whole
yeah,
world
like-
shifted.
Yeah, it brought out the
And I'm
crazy.
still
like, for
experiencing.
sure. Like,
I meet people
like-
and I'm like, I'm not quite sure how I'm supposed to be with that person. I am
Yeah.
me, but how am I supposed to be with that person?
for sure. I do think it's an opportunity for us to grow. And again, it may be, but I'm just going to say that the P word. It may be that I was getting experiences to practice patience. And so I'm like, I got you. But yeah, anywho. All right.
Friends don't let friends shop for health insurance alone, especially online with a bottle of wine. Skip the spammy calls, endless emails, confusing options. We've got you covered, literally. I'm Deb Salmons with Imagine Choice Customized Health Solutions. No more guesswork. We shop for best plans for you with lower rates the healthier you are. We personalize your plans with confidential information and it's hassle-free. Let us take the stress off your plate so you can focus on what matters most. Imagine Choice Health Insurance with a human touch.
You can't make this stuff up, folks. We're talking about mirrors, and she's like, I have a mirror. What did you call it? A mirror line. I mean,
What is a mirror?
I started saying that, by the way. We're not getting high here, okay?
I feel like now you got who can mix? What is happening?
I got it.
I was just
thinking that was good.
Oh my gosh. Because I don't know why I feel very special about this. This is really cool.
It is. Thank you. Confirmation.
I know. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. My goodness. I don't know what. Okay. Squirrel. My daughter would be like, Mom, squirrel. Okay. Okay. Everyone got gifts. We got. Okay. You're welcome. I know, right? We're gonna play a little bit. Now that I have a mirror,
She already did.
I'm gonna reflect back to all your stuff. Just kidding. What's that?
I was making,
Yeah,
making
yeah.
sure you started it.
One of the exercises that I do now, so I used to, in the beginning, like when I started grounding my energy, I was just doing it, ground my energy, and then I put in a bubble, okay? And I would protect my energy, and I bring in the violet flame to revoke, recant, destroy, and uncreate my relationship to everything and everyone, to clear that space. And then I bring in the golden flame of wisdom and infinite knowing. And then I'd bring in this pink flame of love and light. Then I'd put my energy bubble on, okay? But you know what I started doing a couple years ago? Because stuff started getting real. I started imagining like this silver lining, AKA a mirror. A mirror. You see that? You saw that. Okay. I would imagine like a mirror, and what I say is I allow the mirror to reflect back whatever they need to see, hear, and feel in order for them to do their own work. Because I think sometimes I was taking on this projection of this energy or whatever of like other people's mirrored stuff. So now I just mirror it up, baby. Reflect back. And sometimes when we're taking on other people's stuff, I usually just say, I'll ask this question, truth, does this belong to me? And if I get a yes, it's mine. 99.9% of the time, it's not my stuff. So then I can be like, okay, return to sender with consciousness. And then it's not mine to take on. And so I think that mirror, reflecting back to other people's stuff, especially when it's not our stuff to take on. I'm curious, who wants to play? Is there anything that's coming up for you that gets in the way of your ability to step into that new reality? Lavondalyn? I feel like you should just come up. I don't know why, but we'll come back to you, Gina, in just a minute. I don't know why. I just feel like you should be coming up here.
You got it.
Are you willing to come up here and play?
I'm willing.
I don't know what's happening.
I don't-
Okay. So I'm going to have you put this on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be good so you don't like. I might switch with you here. Okay, so we just met
We just met.
and I fell in love.
I fell in love first.
Is that true?
Well, it
Oh
is.
my gosh. So actually, we just met about a month ago,
Yes,
and we had this conversation yesterday. It was super juicy.
absolutely.
And in my big booty pocket, no, I'm kidding. I I was so fascinated by what you said to me yesterday that I was like, I've been carrying this around because it really sat with me in a big way. And so we were having this conversation. We met at an event
Yes.
and we just started like,
I saw her across the room.
oh,
And I said, there's something about the spiked hair and the popped collar. I need to go meet her. I didn't, not everyone can pull off a popped collar. So I was like, I need to go and meet her. I need to go and meet her. And so that's how we met. Yeah.
We just like
Totally
we
vibed.
Which is again the mirror back, right?
Yes.
And I think we always kind of take that for granted of like when we're showing up. I always tell people if you're not going to show up your best self in events,
don't go. Yes.
just be like next, right? Because I just trust that like when we're putting ourselves out there,
Yes.
we can attract PITA clients. Do you guys know what those are?
I know it.
In the I don't think I'm supposed to say that, but we're gonna beep that one out. But if I'm in a low vibration and I'm like, there was an organization that I loved going. I loved the people, but it was in like the middle of downtown Denver, and I'm like, I just disliked traveling. I disliked going downtown, and I was like, and I would show up in a bitter place, and I was like, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I torturing myself? I was like, you just gotta stop. But when we're going out, and it's okay, I'm gonna show up as my authentic self. I'm gonna show up as my real self, and the more that we can show up authentically. I can never I have a hard time. This comes from the chick with the learning disability. Okay, but the more that we can show up authentically. I'm clearly not
You got it.
authentic right now. Okay, the more that we can show up authentic, the better it is. And they just did some research, cool research. They said that the authenticity is like one of the highest states of being that we can be in.
I believe it.
And there's some theories that it's higher than love and gratitude. Anywho, back to us, girl. So we were talking yesterday.
Yes.
And you're like, I would be curious to challenge you on the God challenge. And this is this. And you said, I hope I wrote this down right. Are you willing to trust me enough to let go of what used to be, to take hold of what is to come?
Yes.
And I was thinking about that in the mirror because the mirror reflects back. And we can use confirmation bias to stay in that reality. And we were having this conversation because we're very in similar path lines of taking this big leap into the next version of ourselves. And it's, okay, how do we unpack this? Because it's like, I was talking about being in this reality of, I'm going to say 3-dimensional reality, right? And it's like, we have bills, we have mortgages, we have responsibilities, we have children that need to have things. We have teenagers, right? Teenagers, okay? Teenagers. Right? Real stuff, real reality. But then we have this reality of this expansive being, right? Of, let's really connect to our heart space and let's really be authentic and really step into what we are here to do on this planet on a bigger, more expansive way. And go ahead. I think you were going to.
Yeah, I'm just musing because a lot of times, and I do this with my clients as well, with respect to this mirror, sometimes what we see in the mirror is what we've brought there.
Yeah.
Not what actually is there.
Yeah.
And so I remind my clients all the time that feelings are not facts.
Yeah.
So you can feel a particular way about a situation, about yourself, about your business, about where you are in life, but it doesn't necessarily mean that is actually what's happening, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, I'm guilty. It's like we bring all this stuff to the table and it's all we see, and we don't see the reality of what that thing actually is. And so we were talking yesterday about this space that we're in, and we're taking big, bold steps and big, bold leaps. And she was like, okay, so we've got this dimension of bills and all of these other things. And I was just like, but what if, you can let go of what used to be and that dimension will be taken care of? What if you can let go of what you think this business is and what you think you need to do to take care of these things? If you could just let go of those things and embrace what's coming. Abundance is coming. Larger than life is coming. Bigger than life is coming. Like greatness is coming, and it's available. But sometimes we hold so tight
Right?
to what things used to be or our perception of the way that things are. And I think we all do it to some extent.
Who in here can relate to this?
Yes.
Every single hand in here can relate to this. And I think that is, again, going back to this mirror, is like this, we are almost trapped in this mirror of reality. And letting go of it because it's so terrifying. And I shared on here one other time, I went to this experience like in the last year that I had to surrender. And it was so profoundly, like I felt like I was going to die when I was at that level of surrender. And it was like, newsflash, I didn't die. Just for the record.
Really?
But I think we have to get to that point of we've got to really shed that part of what got us here and the reflection of the mirror that we keep seeing and keep wanting to engage in.
Yes.
Because it's familiar. It's our ego's way of being like, this keeps you safe.
That's exactly it.
This keeps you in routine. This keeps you in like that trapped cycle of just rinse and repeat. And I think sometimes we get into that story of we have so much going on. We're so busy. We got kid stuff, we got dinner stuff, we got this project, we got this creativity, instead of looking at and being like, what if we chose something different? What if we created something different?
Yes.
And how do we get from here in this reality in the mirror? I am loving this. Loving this. For those that didn't see on the break, she gave me this mirrored, oh my gosh, look at that. I told you guys, I have a 4-year-old brain. Like, it's being shown. But like this, it's a ring that has a mirror on it. And how do we get from that reality of looking into the new and embracing? And I've always said, what's that 2.0 version of ourselves?
Yes.
And starting to play with just expanding into that reality of, okay, what do I get to play with today?
And I love that you say that. I think the question that we should ask ourselves, is this a feeling or is this real? Is it a feeling or is it true?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's, oh, I feel this way or I think this way. And I don't know if you're anything like me. Like my feelings change on the daily. Like I can feel one way today and tomorrow it's altogether different. And so we cannot make decisions in life and we cannot like project like what's happening in a situation based on what we feel today or what we feel in this moment. Because you might feel totally different in an hour or a couple of hours. And so then it's okay, if it's a feeling, then it may not necessarily be real.
Exactly. And our feelings, I've shared this before, like our feelings, if it helps anyone, it's 90 seconds.
We didn't move it.
Oh, shnikes, please do that. It takes 90 seconds for our brains to filter through what it needs to in the neurotransmitters to process that emotion. If we can keep that in mind of, okay, I'm feeling the fear, I'm feeling the disappointment, I'm feeling the betrayal, I'm feeling the sadness or the disappointment or whatever that was, and then be like, okay, now I get to create a better feeling thought, right? A better feeling, and processing through that. One of the challenges I sometimes will have is I will say I think blank, I think whatever that is, and instead of just I know this, and step into that knowing of no, I truly know this.
No, you were saying this, the idea of I think this, no, I know it.
Instead of, because that's like one of my defaults is, oh, I think this. And if I say that, oh, I think versus I know this.
Yeah.
It's a different knowing, it's a different confirmation, it's a different energy.
Absolutely.
Of nope, this is, I know this to be true.
Yes.
And my husband and I are having these really interesting conversations right now because I think he's thought I've lost my mind.
All husbands think that.
That probably was very early on, but I think he really thinks it now. Because I'm like, just trust, baby. Just trust.
Yes.
Just trust.
You're Delulu.
Yeah, living in Delulu land. Oh my goodness, yeah.
But and to them, in their defense, because my husband's that way too, in their defense, they need stability and security and all of these things. Like it needs to be concrete, right?
Yes.
And we have the ability, or at least we're working on the ability of being open and just allowing things to come, understanding that things are as they are supposed to be always.
Yes.
And things happen when they're supposed to happen always. And it takes a different level of trust. I love that there's trust on your bracelet because it takes a different level of trust to not force things, to not constantly make things happen, but just understand that, no, I am where I'm supposed to be and things are unfolding for me and they're unfolding for me, like for my good.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thought to wake up to every morning. Everything's going to be okay today, right?
And so I think, so going back to our husbands, right? Because I think there's a linear
Yes.
process. And
Absolutely.
I'm not going to male bash right now, but I'm going to male bash right now. But I do think there's this linear timeline that it's okay, right? And so now as this like divine feminine is coming more online and we're waking up more and more to our divine feminine, our divine feminine energy, it's like this trusting, right? How many can relate to me what I'm talking about right now, right?
Yeah.
Of this energy of this, okay, now what? Now, okay, great. And walking in this place of trust.
Yes.
And doing it differently. That's the biggest thing is for me when I went to this event, it was like this awareness and this contrast of doing it differently and that it's okay to do it differently and not being influenced, maybe is the word, by the old way of doing it, like the hustle muscle of grinding and putting the square peg in the round hole, because I became a master at that.
Yes.
Like, I was a master. I would just shimmy it away. I was just like, whatever, make this happen, versus this new energy of trusting and allowing.
Absolutely. I think the reason we don't do that a lot, this trusting and allowing, is because of fear.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know,
for sure.
fear and uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if it's going to work. And we're trying to brace ourselves against things that hurt or things that feel discomforting, right? Like an uncomfortable feeling. And I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel pain. I don't want to feel anything that's not good. But really, how we should approach it is whether it's good or bad, I'm okay. Yeah. Whether it's painful or uncomfortable, it's going to be okay. I can trust myself to navigate any circumstance that I face today. Yeah. And it's so peaceful. Like, it just gives you this peace. Like, okay, I can handle it. Yeah. I can handle it. We can handle it. Yeah. Things are going to work out. The business is going to be fine, with or without, like whether there's adversity or not. Yeah. We're okay.
We're okay. That reminds me of back in the day when I got my speaker bug. And then at the time, everyone's like, you need to go to Toastmasters, right? Because that's the next thing. When you get a speaker bug, you like go to Toastmasters. So I showed up to Toastmasters and I was so uncomfortable. Literally my first talk, like when I say this to people, they're like, no, it wasn't that bad. And I'm like, yeah. It's a 3-minute introduction, icebreaker talk. Okay, so I'm like, I had a yellow notebook and I'm like, hello. My name is Teri Cardula. Because that was a little tricky. Okay, I had to read that. Okay. And then I was born in Burdick, Kansas. I am not joking, okay? But one of the things that they would make us do is these table topics. And if you guys know about Toastmasters, they would do these table topics. Now, these table topics was based on the theme of the meeting, and it was like a slip of paper, and it was a question. And all you had to do, 2 minutes, stand up and talk about the slip of paper. And it was awful. It was absolutely awful. And I was like, I did it one time, and I'm like, I don't want to do that again. That was awful. And I was like, no, I'm going to go back and keep doing it. And so I didn't want to be a hog with table topics, but I'm like, if no one's volunteering, I'm going to do it every single time. And I did. Every single time I was like, give me that fucking table topic. And what happened was you start to create this expansiveness, right?
Yes.
And I think about it now and I'm a big believer in the 2-week master anything, okay? And fast forwarded when I was doing my lashes, we always used to do these like podcasts on Fridays, and I wanted big lashes. And I'm like, you know what? And it would take me like 2 hours to put these lashes on. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it until I become an expert at it, right? And so I did it every day. And I had these little baby, like, trainer lashes. They were just barely, you could barely see them. I was like, little training lashes. And then I had the big ones on Friday. And I just kept doing this. And you know what? Every single day, 2 weeks, mastered it, right? And so when I go back to talking about those table topics, it's if we're not willing to take the table topic, if we're not willing to pull it out and be like, let's try this new, let's try this whatever, we will never know what's on the other side of that.
That's right.
And you had talked about your word of the year is mastery, which
Yes.
I love, because I think every person, we're on these two paths. We're either on the student path or the master path.
Yes.
And we go through these multiple times in our lives. And so it's okay. I was joking, I think it was last week we were talking about during the pandemic, I learned how to skateboard. And I am like really good now.
Look at you go.
But I loved it because I was like, I had to go back onto the student path. And wait, oh my gosh, you're a skateboarder too. We just discovered this. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And so, but working that muscle allows us to
Yes.
be like, okay, so like how do we incorporate this? So let's hear from everyone. How are we going to incorporate like pulling the table topic, that new thing, and working that new muscle to incorporate the mastery and trusting that we can
Absolutely.
master that, even with training lashes. This conversation is all over. What do they say when they say women are not linear? It makes perfect sense. All right, open it up. What comes up for people? What can we start to play with?
Definitely going to do the 2-week master because I have been trying to master the speaking and the auctioneering. They say to focus on one. There's no way I can focus on one. I got to focus on more than one thing. And then on top of, I'm a visionary. Then I've got all these other businesses that
Can I
are
challenge
hanging
you
out
for a
there.
second?
Help me.
You've already mastered it. You stood up here today and you spoke in front of everyone. You speak as an auctioneer. You've already mastered it. Own it. You're already here. You're already here.
I
You're a
don't know
speaker.
why I'm crying, but
Ah.
thank you.
I gotta bling.
Thank you so much.
So you own that. Own it. That's you. There's no more. You don't have to. You're
You
here.
talk about the mirror.
Yes.
And I see myself standing in front of the mirror. I have 3 men in my life, my husband, my 23-year-old son, and my 83-year-old dad.
Hmm.
And they are like unbelievers. And that's how I was raised, my family. Not believing that you can do the things that you want to do.
Yes.
And being a people pleaser, as we love so much. And coming into the master, my master is to love so unconditionally. That's what I want to be called for when people call me to speak, that it's the presence of love.
Yes.
And it's amazing how just from the beginning of the year that I can feel how that is changing, and being yourself has come to me yesterday to just be you, be your own auctioneering way, because wanting to please so bad, please the world, please everyone, we forget to be us. And so I thank you for today.
Here's the beautiful thing. You are already created the way that you are supposed to be. You come fully equipped already. And so this idea of you having to be what they say doesn't even exist. You wake up in the morning and you fully embody who you are. That is successful. We have to change our minds about what success really is. Success is being yourself 100% of the time authentically and giving what has been given to you to this world. That is success. And if you do that, then you don't need anything else. And you don't have to worry about the expectations, that's what they are, that the world puts on you. The only thing that you need to expect is for you to show up and take that mic and speak what is in your belly to the world. That's it. And you can do that. You don't have to prepare for that. You don't have to, you can do that. Yes.
And that's about owning our power and owning. I'll share this because how many of you, just out of curiosity, have heard me speak before? Okay, a few, yeah. And there's been, and I'm just owning it. Now, there's like when you're like speaking, everyone's like, oh, you need to get these certifications in speaking and do this and that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm bringing my energy.
That's right.
And so I don't want to be scripted. I want to bring the fun and entertainment and energy, right?
Yes.
And so I'm like, I'm just going to be me and do it my way. And it may not be the way in that regards, but I am embracing who I am, keeping my power to that. And I haven't been kicked out of a stage yet. It could happen. Could happen. I was telling the story the other day. I was at the event that I met you at.
Alexis.
So this is so funny. This is such a ninja move, okay? So you guys need to rob and duplicate, okay? This is the juicy stuff, right? This is the girlfriend hour, right? I'm dishing the dirt, okay? I had said yes to her, and I told her, I said, I can either come at the beginning of the event and set the intentions of high energy at the beginning of the event, or, because she already had scheduled out her event, or I can come after lunch. And she says, you would speak after lunch? And I said, yeah, I can bring it. And so I didn't realize when I showed up on Saturday morning, I was like, I didn't put 2 and 2 together at the moment. And I was like, it's a group of all real estate agents who are notoriously late for everything.
This is true.
And I'm like, it's Saturday afternoon, after lunch. What was I thinking? I wasn't. And I was like, I got a problem. I got a situation. And I got to figure out how to get them back in the seats. So do you know what I did? Their coffee and breakfast in the morning. And so I was like, did you hear about the 1 o'clock speaker? I heard she's getting kicked out today. You make sure you tell your friends, get back here at 1 o'clock. She's getting kicked out. It's going to be drama. So I started spreading rumors. I started spreading rumors about the 1 o'clock speaker. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, big T. Like, oh, maybe just tell you. And then one person goes, aren't you the 1 o'clock speaker? I'm like, I am. I haven't been kicked out yet, but it might be today. And I was like, you know what? That is me.
Yes.
Fun and playful. And I didn't get kicked out. But I think there were some people afterwards, they came up to me and like, you didn't get kicked out. I'm like, it wasn't today. It wasn't meant to be. But I had a full room back in the room because they were curious. And so I think that whatever that style is, or whatever your authentic self, let that be what leads you.
That's right. The goal is not to try to be anyone else.
Yes.
Because you can't perfect someone else. But you can, everyone else is taken. But you can show up as yourself. You already know how to do that.
Yes.
You cannot go wrong, and it cannot be wrong. I think a lot of times we think, what if I do something wrong? Or what if I say something wrong? Or we always have these thoughts that prevent us from fully showing up.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you know that you only have to be who you are, you can't do it wrong.
I have this thing, and I always say it before I come in here, before I take a stage, before I do anything terrifying. And I say, little me, move over. Big me, take over.
I love that.
And I'm like, even if I'm peeing my pants, or in this case, have a zipper with my drawers all the way intact. Show up big self.
Teri 2.0.
I'm like, just letting it all hang out. Own it. Oh my goodness. And I also believe, and this is the energy that we bring. So really getting clear on the energy that you bring. Back in the day when I would always say, because I always joke that language is not my first language. Obviously you guys got a little taste of that today. And I said, language is not my first language. And then people would say, what's your first language? And I'm like, I don't know, but it's not language. And then I was sitting with this and I was like, oh my gosh, it's energy.
Yes.
When you go into a room, you talked about it the other day, you're like, what would you call it? Your radio is blaring or something. You said a big old radio. Do you remember that when you said that? I was like,
an energetic station.
An energetic station. And she's got to
turn on, turn up.
Yeah, and she's got a big station. But however you're showing up energetically, you're speaking before anyone comes and has a conversation with you.
That's right.
And so being in your authentic self, your authenticity. Did you guys catch it?
Yeah.
We're very proud of you.
Is what is going to support you attracting, you connecting, you being in that presence. And I think that is where we're going, is like really just stepping into our authentic self and owning it 1000%. And the people that love you will find you. And the people that won't, they won't.
That's right.
Bye, Felicia. Just kidding. I'll approve. I'll make up some other name offensive. Bye, Felicia.
But that's exactly what you're doing here without having a script. It's like, I'm just going to show up and be myself, and I'm going to allow whatever energy exchange there is in the room.
Just kidding.
broken zipper and all. I'm just going to allow it, and it makes for a better experience.
Yeah.
It really
Oh
does.
my gosh, was this juicy?
So good.
I'm Karen Zipa, founder of Complete Business Accounting. We're not your typical accounting firm. At Complete Business Accounting, we partner with you to make sense of your numbers so you can grow with confidence. From strategic bookkeeping to fractional CFO support, we provide the structure, insight, and clarity your business needs to thrive. You don't start a business to be worried about your finances. And with Complete Business Accounting, you won't have to be. Let's move your business forward. Visit cbaccounting.net to get started.
Was there any messages that were serendipitous? Anyone want to share? Oh, I want to share. I want to hear it because this is like my favorite part.
Yeah, it's just perfect because this whole time I just kept wanting to write down trust. And that's what it says.
So good.
Oh my gosh. I'm a gift giver in case you guys haven't figured that out.
Her love language is gifting.
I know. Anyone else that was like very divine? Oh, yes.
So I asked for a dune buggy, and my dad and I came across a Bantam. I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but it's almost like a dune buggy, but it's just uniquely different. And he fixed it up for me, and I got into it yesterday, and I said, Dad, finally I got something to give me joy. And I said, Dad, I needed joy. And so it was definitely the word of the year is I'm gonna have joy.
Joy, yes.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share? These are Teri Cardinal originals, okay? My first time quilling, so don't be judgy, okay? Okay. But you are quite welcome. The chart today.
We're gonna have to rated R on YouTube.
I know. Right, I know, right?
Not made for children.
Exactly, not made for children. All right, is there anything that's coming up for anyone that wants to work on clearing this so that we can open up and it be more expansive, or anything else before we close up here today?
I don't know that I have a block necessarily on this, but I am launching something new and exciting, and there's so much great energy behind the scenes, but it's about to be more public. So would that apply?
Yeah. Okay. How many of you right now either launching or desiring to step into something exciting, fun, and big? Okay. I'm going to call out 2 numbers. I love it when we can play with this divine. Okay. I'm going to set, I know, I love this because I can't even make this stuff up. Ooh, dear. No, number 10. Is that you? Okay. It just popped out. 1.
There you go.
All right. I'm going to have you 2 come up if you're okay with that.
Oh, you sit closer.
Okay.
All right. And then I'm going to give you, oh, I need another microphone. Or actually, so I love it when we can do this like in a place of space of activating this place of expansiveness. I always pull from like Access Consciousness, Donna Eden's work, emotional freedom technique. So if you want to play along, you can absolutely play along with this as well. Okay, let's close your eyes for a second. And let's just call in that part of you that is ready, willing, and able to fully embody your brilliance, your intentions of where you're going. And I love the word embodiment because it's like doing it scared and just putting yourself out there, real or not real, with zipper or no zipper, okay? Like just being you. And if I can sit up here with no zipper, we can do tough stuff, right? Once you have it, okay, you guys got it? Okay, and now we're just gonna activate that, okay? So go ahead and open your eyes and just tap right here. I'm just gonna say this exercise just to clear this piece. So anywhere that's not allowing you just to fully embody what you are here to do and just being in a place and space of just knowing, trusting, and calling forth your ability to know that you are perfect and divine, just who you are in this moment, in this space and place. So anything does not allow that times a billion, godzillion, billion, gazillion, 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 billion, gazillion. Are you willing to revoke or candy strand into that? Yes, stay with it. And now, right and wrong, good and bad, pocket pot, all night shorts, boys and beyonds. And then I want you to tap right here on the back of the hand between your ring finger and pinky right here. And repeat after me, even though I've been selling myself short.
I've been selling myself short.
And I've been believing in all the stories.
Believing in all the stories.
That does not serve me anymore.
Does not serve me
And they
anymore.
served me to this point.
They served me to this point.
Because I had to become who I am.
Who I am.
With all of that.
With all of that.
That good baggage.
Baggage.
That baggage. Helped me become who I am.
Helped me become who I am.
All those experiences.
All those experiences.
All those life lessons.
All those life lessons.
482, 694, 392, like all those life lessons.
All those life lessons.
Allowed me to become the person I am today.
Allowed me to become the person I am
It
today.
prepared me.
It prepared me
to be this person.
to be this person.
I choose to know.
I choose to know
that I am so blessed and thankful.
I am so blessed and thankful
for all those experiences.
for all those experiences
that did not break me.
that did not break me.
That might have allowed me.
That might have allowed
to
me
break through.
to break through
To this moment.
to this moment.
In this time.
In this
To
time.
be in this place and space.
To be in this place and space.
With all these dynamic women.
With all these dynamic women.
Allowing myself.
Allowing
To go
myself
to the next level.
to go to the next level.
I give myself permission.
I give myself permission
To tap in.
to tap in,
Tune in. And turn on. My infinite knowing.
my infinite
My
knowing,
infinite knowledge.
my infinite
And then
knowledge,
top of the head, right here. To trust. And then eyebrows right here. To trust.
to trust,
To know.
to know
That I am.
that I am
Divinely guided.
divinely guided
In all aspects.
in all
Of my
aspects
life.
of my
I
life.
am perfect.
I am perfect
Just the way I am.
just the way I am.
I choose to know.
I choose to know
That I can be safe.
that I can be
In
safe
releasing
and releasing
anything that
anything
is not serving me now.
that is not serving me now.
I bless and release.
I bless and release.
And first finger right here, I choose to know.
I choose to know
And middle finger right here, I'm safe.
I'm safe.
Right here, I am safe.
I am safe.
Back here, I am safe.
I am safe.
And then I'm going to ask this question, and I just ask you, just what would it, so maybe just close your eyes and just tap into this yourself, and just what would it take for me to step into my knowing and be fully present in my I am presence that allows me to connect with my infinite knowing, infinite self, with God, spirit, angels that are here to support me in my evolution, in my expansiveness, in my creation, in order for me to take my business, take my life to the next level. So anything does not allow that times a billion, gazillion, bug, gazillion, bug, gazillion, bug, gazillion, bug, gazillion, bug. Are you willing to revoke or can't you start after that? Yes, stay with it. Now, right or wrong, good or bad, no shorts, boys, beyonds. Okay. Or open your eyes. What's coming up for people?
For me, it's time.
Time, what do you mean?
Allowing
time.
it. Time. It's time. It's like
time.
now. Yeah.
It's now.
Make it happen.
What comes up for you?
Blessings.
Blessing, love it. So let's do this. Go ahead and take your hand to your heart. Anything else that's coming up before I move on? Close your eyes for a second. I want you to put your hand on your heart, and I just want you to imagine tapping into that place of gratitude and just sitting with that for just a moment and feeling the sense of gratitude that you are here in this present moment and all that you are. Feel in, connect to that place and space of gratitude, just feeling so blessed for who you are and who you're being in this lifetime. And now I just want you to imagine just expanding that energy 10 times stronger. And just allowing that energy of gratitude just to vibrate even more powerful and more profound. Feeling it in every single cell of your being in your body, from the tips of your toes all the way up to the top of your head. And expand that energy out now. And I want you to come out and expand that energy out in that place of gratitude, just expanding that energy out. And expanding even more and just magnetizing that energy even more. What would it take if you expanded it 100,000 miles beyond this? And expanding it even more. just resting in that place and space of this gratitude for who you are, who you're showing up as, and the being that you are. You don't have to do anything, you just get to be. How sexy is that? Just get to be. You get to be you. So giving yourself permission, if you've not done this in a while, just giving yourself permission just to be human beings instead of human doings, and just trusting in the place and space that you are exactly where you are meant to be at this time and space, simply just by being you. All right, and then when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Anything that's coming up for anyone? Anything that's coming up for anyone?
I'm safe.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, let's pass around the mat. Let's hear some insights.
I'm safe.
Yes.
Love and light came to mind.
Okay, love and light. Love it. Anyone else want to share? Yeah, go ahead, pass it around.
Well, for me, it's a transition from Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, like we talked about in the beginning.
I know that means when I just snorted.
If you only knew, honey. If you only knew. And two, just feeling very grounded, rooted in just peace and joy.
Love it.
Very overwhelmed with a release of who I've been boxed in to be, to just be allowed to be me. Thank you.
You are seen, you are loved, and now you get to give yourself permission to be whatever that is. No more boxed in, stepping out into that new place to play. And now you get to be curious. And what does that look like? What do you get to play? I'm going to invite you to have some, play. Literally play. Go find joy in your next adventure. That is one of the fastest ways that I believe that we can shift the energy or shift it. One is through movement, but the second one is going and aligning with almost like a kid-like play and finding those things that bring joy to us. Cool.
I gotta go, but speaking of play, I have a brand new puppy that's 4 months old.
Holy buckets, that was just an adventure. Your world mirrors your beliefs. Trust beyond what you can see and a new reality gets created. Live in or are traveling to Colorado, be sure to connect to get a seat right here in our live studio experience. Thank you so much for being a part of the Entrepreneur Girlfriend Hour. And as always, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you. Massive love, and we'll see you on the next episode.